families, communities, a whole nation divided over LEXIT. It's April 2019 and it's been going on too long now. The people have spoken and yet have had to suffer interminable setbacks, delays, long drawn-out negotiations, broken promises, missed deadlines, and things are still not resolved. In your darkest moments you imagine it going on forever. The issue has divided the nation. And yet still you're living in this impasse. It's time for Leeds to leave the EFL. LEXIT is long overdue. There was the time you'd outlined in bitter tones to your bitter other half that though LUFC were big, other lesser teams had been acquired and funded by billionaires who virtually bought them entrance to the hallowed portals of the Premiership. Look at Wolves in the 2017-18 season, you'd said. Loans to buy of top international players through the workings of an agent on the board. And then the skewed distribution of TV money. Relegated teams coming down with huge parachute payments. An outrage that unleveled the playing field in all sorts of ways. While other teams seemed to manage to get promotion, she'd come back with, and for the reasons you'd outlined, you'd answered. And what had been her rejoinder? There is no magic money tree. You reap what you sow, and we'd sown Bates had we, you'd replied. Who? You live according to your means, she'd added. You'd been feeling quite proud of that little snippet of repartee about Bates that hadn't earned you any points till only later in the pub in your retelling of the spat to friends. Clarity of the scene lived in your mind. It wasn't when you'd told her that she'd sounded like Theresa May, but when you'd added with deliberate vitriol that she was starting to look like her, that your missus had packed her bags and left again. You've been a fan of championship football for years, although not through choice. And you've praised its qualities of honesty, speed, intensity, and so on that you'd outlined to disinterested pseudo-Arsenal, Spurs, ATA team fans who'd never been to any of the grounds of the teams they purported to follow, whilst they've waxed lyrically about their support at work or at the pub watching Sky Sports. The championship was beneath them. Unless of course they'd picked one of the wrong teams like West Ham, WBA, insert suitable name again, and were then doomed to explore the delights of yo-yo-ness until they realized their mistake quickly and bought a Liverpool shirt, etc. Backing it up with a flaky reason for their sudden change of allegiance. But it isn't as easy as that for you. You loyalties lie in whatever sphere your club happens to find itself. This brings you to another sad memory about the currently departed Mrs. You'd told her often enough that Leeds would get out of that division, and then it had happened. But not how you wanted. It had been almost unthinkable, but only 1 year on from a playoff final, Leeds were in League One. And a brief glance at a map showed you that Swansea and Yeovil were a long way away. And oh, she had left. And without a word you'd walked out and not come back for 3 days while you licked your wounds and studied a road atlas looking for places like Cheltenham, only to find she'd gone. Well, she's not laughing now. Or she might be, but not at home. Your bet is she'll come back contrite when your forecasted LEXIT proves to be right. And when she does, she'll find you looking at next season's fixture list and wondering how much places like Old Trafford, Goodison, and Anfield have changed since you were last there. And also Highbury, scrub that. Arsenal were now at a ground you'd never been to. Add to that list White Hart Lane. And no longer would you have to trek to the old bowling ground, a loss you're prepared to bear stoically if LEXIT finally happens. The truth is, though you've extolled the virtues of the championship for years, how it's more exciting, and harder for overpaid non-performers dropping from the Premiership who just want the bright lights of places like London, and the TV coverage, you're tired of being a championship fan. Or rather, you're tired of Leeds being a championship team. And if Leeds are now geared up to be a Premiership team again, you, who has served his penance for past owners' misdemeanors, feel you're more than ready to be a Premiership fan again. Admittedly, Bournemouth, Brighton and Southampton are further than the likes of Reading, Stoke and Derby, but you'll take that. And in leaving, wish all Championship fans luck in the future, obviously not those in places like Bermondsey and Sheffield. And the delicious irony is that the EFL will have to struggle along without its prize asset and cash cow once Leeds have left, despite their best efforts to keep you in their league. At this moment you feel there's light at the end of a long tunnel, even if that glorious light is slightly overshadowed by the specter of Sean Harvey following you to the premiership and getting a top job. You will not let him be the black dog Cerberus chasing you in your dreams. And surely after LEXIT there'll be better referees and kickoff times, less biased commentary and punditry, and the ability to attract top talent. In short, all the things that LEXITeers have promised you. But back to the mythical magic money tree for a moment. The one you'd yearned for so long and that other teams had seemed to conjure up to get promotion. The amazing thing was that so far the missing misses had been proved right. 15 players loaned out, and the few incoming loans and couple of money signings not having played a major part in the process this season. If LEXIT is achieved, it will be by organization, dedication, planning and commitment. All the qualities you've brought to bear in your support, and the club will have played its part too, of course. So there you are, still waiting and praying for LEXIT, but this time with genuine hope of an early deliverance. You long to say to the EFL, and Sean Harvey in particular, in the name of God go, yes, the LUFC fraternity, and of course sisterhood, have spoken with one voice and their combined wishes. This LEXIT means LEXIT. And it has to happen soon, and with that thought constantly in mind you retire to the pub with fellow-minded fans to feel the consolation and solidarity of their emotions as they empathize with what you're going through. And for a short while you can relax as one of them retells your favorite Man U joke. You may know it word for word, but there is a comfort in repetition and usually a new pair of ears to take in its poignancy. The wife decided to wear a Manchester United top for a week to see the public reaction. On the first morning she was spat on, swore at, punched in the face twice, kicked up the ass and received 3 death threats. Don't know how she'll get on when she leaves the house. Advertisements share this. Like this. Like loading. Let's block ads. Why?